Well, let's jump right into the Appalachian music section. You edited that section for the Encyclopedia of Appalachia, the hardcover edition, which came out, I believe, around 2003. Talk to us about your editorship of that, and also what we can now find online, new and updated, and how you were able to help put together the online version for researchers and scholars, even wider dissemination.
Sure, yeah. I'd be happy to talk about both of those issues. Well, first off, I think it was 1998, I got a phone call from Rudy Abramson. And Rudy Abramson and Gene Haskell were editing this great concept, this Encyclopedia of Appalachia for the University of Tennessee Press. And Rudy asked me on the phone, would I edit the music section? And I was kind of just getting started in my academic career, as it were. And it was quite an honor, and it was a little bit daunting to think that I would single-handedly represent, through my editorial work, the history of Appalachian music in all its variety. But I agreed to do so because Rudy and Gene were very encouraging and thought that I could really do the job, and so I believed them and embarked on it. And as an editor, of course, you work with a lot of people, right? You find other people to help you in a collective project. So ultimately, I contacted over 80-some authors. Different scholars who had different areas of expertise, and my job was kind of decide what areas of Appalachian music to cover, and the rest of my job involved finding people to write about those specific topics for that hardcover encyclopedia. But people were great to work with. I was able to really, working with them, we were collectively able to create quite a document. The folks looking at the hardcover version of the Encyclopedia of Appalachia will note that it's really the thickest section in the entire book.
Certainly, yeah.
And that is entirely because Appalachian music is so extensive, and so, it's such a manifold tradition or set of related traditions. In doing so, of course, we collectively produced all these writings based on, extensive research into Appalachian music. And one of the challenges that ended up ultimately being something I had to address as editor was scope of coverage. And so in the process of deciding who would write which entries and what topics would be covered, I ended up having to take a long, serious look at the Appalachian Regional Commission map of Appalachia, and ultimately realized that there were a lot of aspects to the Appalachian music story that, up to that time hadn't really been addressed as being part of the Appalachian music story, such as blues musicians from northern Mississippi. They're some of the strongest blues musicians in the history of blues music, of course, are from Mississippi, and a number of them came from Appalachian counties in North Mississippi. And so they had to be part of the story. Adding to that, of course, the rock and roll music scene of Muscle Shoals, Alabama had to be part of the story because it was within the ARC boundary line of Appalachia, and therefore needed to be addressed. Moving into the northern part of Appalachia, southwest New York and western Pennsylvania brought in wonderfully interesting parts of the puzzle that had to be covered. So, for example, jazz from Pittsburgh. A lot of great jazz has come historically from Pittsburgh. They became part of the story. Polka music from western Pennsylvania, that became part of the story of Appalachian music. So I think that collectively we came out with a portrait of Appalachian music that was somewhat different from the way in which Appalachian music had traditionally been represented in previous publications. So I'm very proud of the range of coverage of Appalachian music, and some of the new stories we were able to kind of contribute to the dialogue about what is Appalachian music and how we should define it.